Have you ever noticed how some women seem impossible to forget? Months pass, sometimes even years. A relationship ends, both people move on, and life appears to continue as normal. Then, out of nowhere, the man reaches out again. A simple message, a phone call, a reaction to an old social media post, or perhaps he suddenly starts asking mutual friends how she's doing. People often assume this happens because he feels lonely or because his new relationship didn't work out. While those things can play a role, they rarely tell the whole story. When it comes to Sigma females, the reason runs much deeper. A Sigma female doesn't build relationships through manipulation or emotional games. She doesn't try to make someone miss her. She simply lives with a level of confidence, authenticity, and emotional independence that's becoming increasingly rare. Ironically, it's often only after she's gone that many men fully recognize what they had. The peace she brought, the respect she showed, the emotional maturity she expected, and the quiet strength she carried without ever asking for recognition. By the time they understand her value, she's usually already moved forward. Today, we'll explore 10 psychological reasons why men so often come back to Sigma females, and why many realize her worth only after they've lost her. Let's begin. 1. They finally realize she was different. When a relationship ends, people often focus on what they believe they lost. But real understanding usually comes later. After meeting new people and experiencing different relationships, many men begin comparing those experiences to the one they had with the Sigma female. That's when something unexpected happens. They realize she wasn't ordinary. She didn't constantly create drama. She didn't demand attention every hour of the day. She respected personal space while still making the relationship feel meaningful. At the time, those qualities may have seemed normal. Only later do they recognize how rare they actually were. Sometimes people don't appreciate consistency until they're surrounded by inconsistency. They don't appreciate emotional maturity until they experience unnecessary conflict. And they don't appreciate genuine loyalty until they encounter relationships built on convenience instead of commitment. The Sigma female often becomes the standard by which future relationships are measured. And that's exactly why she remains in a man's thoughts long after the relationship has ended. 2. She never chased him. One of the biggest reasons Sigma females leave such a lasting impression is because they refuse to chase people who have already started pulling away. When a relationship begins falling apart, many people desperately try to hold everything together. They send repeated messages. They beg for another chance. They sacrifice their own dignity hoping things will return to the way they once were. The Sigma female usually takes a different approach. She communicates honestly. She expresses her feelings. She gives the relationship opportunities to improve. But if she realizes she's the only one making an effort, she quietly steps back. She refuses to force someone to choose her. At first, some men mistake this for emotional distance. Later, they realize it was actually self-respect. That realization often stays with them, because once someone walks away without anger, manipulation, or desperation, it becomes much harder to forget them. Her quiet confidence leaves questions that many men continue asking themselves long after the relationship ends. 3. Life without her feels different. It's easy to overlook someone's value when they're part of your everyday life. The Sigma female often creates stability without making a big show of it. She listens, she communicates honestly, she respects boundaries, she brings calm into situations that could easily become chaotic. While the relationship is happening, those qualities can become so familiar that they're almost taken for granted. But once she's gone, the silence she leaves behind becomes noticeable. The thoughtful conversations disappear. The emotional support is no longer there. The quiet understanding that once made difficult days easier slowly becomes a memory. Many men don't just miss the Sigma female herself. They miss how they felt around her. Respected, accepted, encouraged to grow. It's often that emotional experience, not just the person, that draws them back. 4. She helped him become a better man. A Sigma female rarely tries to change someone through criticism. Instead, she influences people through the way she lives. She values honesty. She respects discipline. She believes in personal growth. She takes responsibility for her actions and expects the same from those around her. Being around someone with those values naturally encourages self-reflection. Many men begin communicating better, working harder, handling problems with greater maturity. At the time, they may not even realize how much they're growing. Only after the relationship ends do they notice the difference. They realize she challenged them without controlling them, inspired them without demanding perfection, supported them without trying to reshape their identity. That kind of influence is rare, and people rarely forget someone who helped them become a better version of themselves. 5. She never tried to control him. One of the healthiest qualities of a Sigma female is that she understands the difference between love and control. She doesn't want to own another person. She wants to build a relationship based on trust. She respects independence because she values her own. She doesn't need to know every detail of someone's day. She doesn't constantly demand proof of affection. She believes that real commitment is freely given, not forced. Ironically, this freedom often makes the relationship stronger. Many men don't fully appreciate that until they experience relationships built on jealousy, insecurity, or emotional manipulation. Only then do they recognize how peaceful life felt with someone who trusted them instead of constantly testing them. That comparison often leads them back to the Sigma female. Not because she was perfect, but because she offered something that's becoming increasingly rare. A relationship built on mutual respect instead of emotional control. 6. She walked away with dignity. One of the most unforgettable things about a Sigma female is the way she leaves. When many relationships end, they leave behind anger, endless arguments, or emotional games. The Sigma female usually chooses a different path. If she realizes the relationship can no longer be repaired, she says what needs to be said, accepts the reality of the situation, and moves forward. She doesn't spend weeks trying to make someone jealous. She doesn't post messages hoping he'll regret losing her. She doesn't chase after someone who has already decided to leave. At first, some men mistake this calm reaction for a lack of emotion, but as time passes, they begin to understand what it really was. It wasn't indifference, it was emotional maturity. She respected herself enough to let go with dignity instead of clinging to something that no longer worked. That quiet strength often becomes unforgettable. 7. She is difficult to replace. People often believe they'll quickly find someone else after a breakup. Sometimes they do. But many men discover that replacing a Sigma female isn't as easy as they expected. It's not because she was flawless, it's because of the balance she brought into the relationship. She was independent without becoming distant, supportive without becoming controlling, honest without being cruel, confident without needing constant attention. Those qualities don't always exist together. After experiencing relationships filled with unnecessary drama or emotional inconsistency, many men begin remembering the stability they once had. They realize they weren't just dating someone attractive. They were with someone emotionally mature. And emotional maturity is much harder to replace than appearance. 8. She doesn't wait around. One of the biggest surprises for many men is discovering that the Sigma female didn't put her life on hold after the breakup. She continued growing. She pursued her goals. She strengthened her friendships. She invested in her career, hobbies, and personal development. She didn't spend every day hoping someone would come back. She focused on becoming an even stronger version of herself. Ironically, that's often when the messages start arriving. By the time a man realizes what he lost, she's already building a future instead of reliving the past. This creates an unexpected contrast. He's looking backward, she's looking forward, and that difference often makes him admire her even more. Her ability to move on isn't a sign that she never cared. It's a sign that she refuses to let heartbreak define the rest of her life. 9. She made him feel truly understood. Many relationships revolve around talking. Far fewer revolve around genuine understanding. The Sigma female has a rare ability to make people feel heard. She listens carefully. She remembers details. She notices emotions that aren't spoken out loud. She doesn't interrupt every story with one of her own. She creates space for honesty. For many men, that's an experience they don't fully appreciate until it's gone. After the breakup, they may meet people who hear their words but never truly understand them. That's when memories begin returning. They remember the conversations that lasted for hours. The feeling of being accepted without constantly proving themselves. the comfort of knowing someone genuinely cared about who they were beneath the surface. Those emotional memories are difficult to replace, and they often become the reason a man reaches out again. 10. He realizes her value. Too late. Perhaps the biggest reason men come back to Sigma females is surprisingly simple. Distance creates perspective. While the relationship is happening, it's easy to focus on small frustrations, minor disagreements, daily routines, the ordinary moments that seem unimportant. But once those moments disappear, people often begin seeing them differently. The late-night conversations, the quiet support during difficult times, the trust, the respect, the emotional stability. Suddenly, what once felt ordinary becomes extraordinary. Many men realize that they weren't just losing a relationship. They were losing someone who genuinely improved their life. Unfortunately, this realization often comes after the Sigma female has already accepted the ending. She's already healed, already grown, already moved forward, and that's why coming back doesn't always mean getting another chance. Sometimes it simply means arriving after the chapter has already closed. Conclusion. People often assume men come back because they're lonely or because another relationship failed. Sometimes that's true, mate. But when it comes to Sigma females, there's usually something much deeper happening. Many men return because time gives them something they didn't have before. Perspective. Only after the relationship ends do they recognize the quiet confidence, emotional maturity, honesty, and peace she brought into their lives. They realize she never tried to control them, never begged them to stay, never built the relationship on manipulation or games. Instead, she offered something much more valuable: respect, trust, authenticity, and genuine partnership. The irony is that these qualities often become most visible through their absence. When she's gone, the emotional space she once filled becomes impossible to ignore. That's why so many men come back. Not because the Sigma female made them chase her, but because over time they finally understood what they had. Whether they get a second chance is another story entirely. Because a Sigma female may forgive the past, but she rarely forgets the lessons it taught her. If this video resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Do you think people truly appreciate someone's value only after losing them? Or should they recognize it while they still have the chance? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos on Sigma female psychology, relationships, and personal growth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.